When you're playing funk guitar, there are a lot of different articulations that you can play with. So there's a lot of rhythmic ideas that you can do by combining muting with your chords, and a specific kind of touch that I use that works really well, and I hear this in other players as well. So I want to share a couple of those ideas and show you that little riff that I was playing at the beginning, just as a way to kind of show how you can play a cool funk guitar riff and some of these ideas. So one of the things I'm doing is a lot of muting. So I've got this chord right here. This is a quintessential funk chord. It's just a kind of a minor 13 or like a minor, kind of a minor 6. We've got the flat 7 of the chord, the flat 3, and then the natural 6. This is a real common sound in funk music, and this would be over a G minor chord. So I'm not playing the root note, I'm just playing basically this triad. It's a B flat major triad, or it's like the top of a G minor 7 chord. Very easy chord to play. I'm just barring the 3rd fret on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string, and then I'm adding my pinky here on the 5th fret of the 2nd string to get that really dissonant note on the top. And one of the most important things about funk rhythm guitar is the scratching, the kind of muted sound, because you're really trying to be a part of the rhythm section when you're playing funk guitar. You're not just playing, pretty chords. You're really adding a rhythmic element. So you're doing a lot of scratching, and what I'm doing here is going 1, 2, and 3, 4, and this is a technique I use a lot in funk guitars, where I'll just push when I want to hear the chord, then I let up and I hold. I touch the string still so that I can get this nice muted sound, but I'm pressing pretty lightly when I'm actually playing the chord. And I kind of want it to sound like that. I don't want to be like that, letting the notes sound out too much. I really want it to still be very rhythmic, so I'm going. I'm really touching lightly, like I said, pushing down when I want to hear the chord and letting go, and just touching the strings lightly to get that muted sound when I want a more rhythmic thing. So another thing I was doing in that rhythm I played at the beginning that I'm showing you is adding single note lines in with these chord patterns. So I'm doing a little pentatonic walk down. And again, if you press really lightly, you can get the basic tone of the note without actually playing and pushing down all the way. That versus that way of doing it is a lot more rhythmic and a lot more funky. So that's another thing, is just like the chords, when you're playing single note lines, you can get a much more funky rhythmic sound by letting the notes be kind of choked. You don't have to push them down all the way. That doesn't sound nearly as cool and rhythmic as so this pattern that I showed you at the beginning of, I'll continue it. It's so I've done this little walk down and then added these 2 notes, 3rd fret on the 2nd and 3rd strings, and I'm doing it on an offbeat, create some syncopation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and. This is just a typical type of a a thing that I would play over G minor or any minor. You can move it anywhere. But here we're doing it on G minor, so and this introduces another thing that I do a lot with funk guitar is some of these, I don't even know what to call them, just wiggles, I guess. I don't know. Just kind of side to side. It's not really vibrato. It's sort of, I guess. It's sort of a side to side vibrato where you are really quickly moving back and forth between two frets. But the effect that it gives, it doesn't give the effect of the higher notes. It really just gives this kind of wobble to the notes you're playing. So from the beginning of that pattern, so after I do this little walk down, I'm again hitting on upbeats for the next. So I'm going on the ands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And the syncopation that I'm playing with is very essential to playing funk rhythm. You're going to be doing a lot of syncopation, a lot of ands and up strums mixed with down strums, where your right hand in rhythm guitar always should be keeping the rhythm. You should be keeping down strums on down beats, up strums on up beats if you're doing 16th note patterns, which if I counted this in 16th notes, I could. It's kind of more of a 16th note pattern. So I could count it. You'd be on down on the 1, up on the E, down on the and, up on the So I could count this in 16th notes too, if I do it real slow. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and it's really hard to count and play at the same time, but the same thing applies. You're doing syncopations, so my pattern is 1. That's the whole thing. And if I do it at a slow tempo, it can still sound very funky. If I do it at a really fast tempo, it sounds like a fast funky. But this is just a good example of funk rhythm guitar. All of these elements you can try to work out. If you're trying to get down the muting aspect, just push softer on the chord and see where it goes from being completely muted to making a little bit of sound, to all the way making sound. And find that kind of soft spot. It's a real feel thing in your left hand where you can kind of feel where the note starts to come in and really play on that edge. And I do this in my soloing too. Especially if I'm soloing over a funky kind of tune, I will do a lot of this really light touching. It's another just cool sound that I really like. That's very, very funky sounding. And so we've got the muting, the strumming, and then we've got these single note lines. We're doing syncopation, and we're doing some of these side-by-side, kind of side-to-side vibrato things. All that together in a single rhythm makes for a pretty funky sounding guitar part. So those are some considerations when you're trying to practice and get better at funk guitar.